Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anza Sakim. I'm going to be your guest anchor person for the show Executive Forum on LGU TV today. I'm also representing CXO Global Forum as their head of corporate affairs. We are a league, a knowledge sharing platform of all C levels across Pakistan and the globe, and take massive pride in contributing to the knowledge economy. This program with LGU is one of our initiatives towards industry academia linkages, and each time we try and bring to you very inspiring stories of thought leaders who have made a tremendous amount of effort into their learning and experience, and their knowledge is unmatched. So let's meet one of our special guests today, Mr. Omar Farooq. He's the CEO of Interwood. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting, and yeah, it's a great pleasure to be here.
Mr. Omar Farooq, whenever someone goes through your LinkedIn profile or, mashallah, reads about your success story, it's very inspiring indeed. However, what I would like to know is, where did this journey begin? Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? Which courses you studied? And how did you end up becoming the CEO of Interwood?
So my journey started in 1985 87 when I did my metric from Crescent Model School. And I had no clue about furniture at that time. So I got admitted to Government College Lahore, and I did my degree in Math, Stats, Economics. And
So that's completely different from the convention, becoming a CEO of a retail.
Math, Stats, Economics I did in FA, and then I did my BSc in that. Then because we had this family business, as you know, furniture company, Interwood, I was very small at that time, so I wanted to pursue my career there. So I thought that I'll get admitted to a college abroad and study furniture. So I did. So I went to UK in 1991 after doing my BSc in Math, Stats, Economics. And then the first year was very tough for the simple reason that I didn't know anything about furniture. Secondly, I had no clue about the language. And thirdly, I didn't know anything about drawings. So I had to learn the hard way, and I think in the first year I couldn't figure out how to read drawings. And that was the biggest challenge I faced. I was poor at drawings. I failed in drawing. So, that was the biggest learning at the end as well when I graduated. But during the first 2 years, it was quite a struggle for me because I didn't know furniture. I didn't know the materials. I had no clue where I am. And I'm poor at, doing work with my own hands, so it was a practical course. So when I had to do it on the machines, I was really struggling with that as well. But eventually I was, in the third year, I had to go for a placement year. It's a sandwich course where you have to work for an industry. And there, when I went there in the north, I again faced this challenge of the language, because the language over there was very different. And we as Pakistanis think that we have understood everything. You say it just like that, and and without understanding. And my job as a student over there was to make prototyping from drawing till the end. So my guy, he had a very, very strong accent at that time, and a shop floor accent. And he told me to do something, and I said yes. And I used to do something else. He got really annoyed with me for a month. And then, he complained even to the directors what kind of guy he is. So, but then I understood, if I don't understand, I have to ask and, understand completely. And after a couple of months, I managed to do good prototyping and from design, and then you have to do it on your own hands and then make the prototype. The challenging part of that third year was that I had to work in very cold temperature, -10, and I used to pick up the log and bring it inside and do all the things by myself, which I was not used to at that time. But I really enjoyed the year because I was getting paid, and I was. It was quite an interesting experience for me. I played cricket there as well, so that year went well. And in the fourth year, I was very. It was a very interesting year again. As you know, I was very struggling with my drawing, so I said I'm going to do the drawings in AutoCAD. At that time, most of the things were done by hand. So 99% of the students my colleagues at that time did their presentation in by hand, hand drawings. So I chose to do it by CAD, and I had no clue about CAD. So I did that, and I did a chair for my final year presentation. And when you're doing a chair, you have to do a lot of curves, and it's quite complicated on CAD. So I did that, and everybody was getting very jealous, and believe me, everybody got against me. So that was it, and I managed to pass, and I got a third position. I got some award. I deserved to be at the first position, but I think they manipulated the results.
Absolutely.
So because of the pressure of everybody that the teachers help him support, because I was making an extra effort of learning.
But I think you also caused a lot of disruption by bringing design on AutoCAD back then.
Yeah, so that really helped me because I always thought that this is the time to learn. If I don't learn at this time, I would never be able to do that. And when I go into my practical life, I would have the time, and exactly that's what happened. And those 4 years have been a life, I think, more than understanding furniture, just understanding the experience I felt going through, because I never used a central heating at that time. I was very tight on money as well. So I never used the central heating, which the temperatures went down to -10 as well. So that was quite tough, but it gave me courage to that when I will join my family business, I can go through those tough times, which I did. So that's about that. And then I joined my furniture company, my father's company, in 1995, and it was a small company at that time. Had a good brand name. But we were thought to be very expensive all the time.
Yeah, good, reliable brand name from what I've heard from my parents and everything. But expensive.
Yeah, it was very expensive. So expensive is relative to what you are doing and what type of
product or service that you're
type of things you are doing. So what we did was, at that time we were doing mostly contractual furniture and small retail part. And from there, I joined the company. I was made to report to somebody, and for 5 years he wasted my time and his time.
In your own father's company?
Yeah. So I had to report to some executive director. He was promoted. I was made the production director, so I reported to him for 5 years, and he didn't take us anywhere. So at the end, he brought his kids in, and there was a big mess, and then he had to leave. He had jaundice, and my father felt that we can do without him as well now. So
Right.
we did, and there was no turning back after that. In 2000, I think he left. The company was very small at that time, and since he left, we started developing our retail. So where
Right.
we brought in very, very cost-effective products into the market, and that's where we changed the game. And from 2000 to 2020, we've gone through this journey because mostly our sales was like 90% corporate, 10% retail. Now the mix is 70% retail, 30% corporate.
Wow, unbelievable.
So this is the change we've created, and that has only happened because we've invested in technology.
Yeah.
And
But before we speak about the technology part, what I would like you to tell us today is, as we talk right now, how many stores does Interwood have? How many cities do you have reach over? And, because mashallah, from a very small business, bringing it within, I think, 2 decades to, what are the volumes now?
the volumes, I think at that time we were doing one door in 30 days.
Okay.
So now we produce 200 doors a day.
Oh, wow,
That's the
mashallah.
volume change, and in one product line. We do kitchens as well. I think we were used to make a kitchen in 20 days, 20, 30 days. Now we can, I think, produce 15 kitchens a day.
Wow.
And very few companies in the world can give you that kind of flexibility.
Absolutely.
Because if a company is making office furniture, it's going to make office furniture. It's not going to make doors. And even in doors, they categorize it according to the materials and the design. But here we can literally make anything. So the plant is designed in such a flexible manner that it can produce 6 product lines under one roof. So coming back to your question of where we are from Peshawar. We have an outlet coming from Peshawar down Rawalpindi. We have one big store, 50,000 square feet, and then we have in Islamabad, I-9, Golra, 3 stores in Islamabad, Pindi region. And I think that's the most booming part of the market at the moment. Because a lot of infrastructure facilities going on there.
Right, a lot of construction as well.
Yeah, a lot of construction. Expatriates invest a lot of money. There are housing schemes. And there are schemes coming in the north as well. I think people are building up resorts. They want to sign up MOUs with us.
Right.
So that's that. And then we come to Gujranwala. We have opened up a store now. It's about 25,000 square feet. We have presence in Lahore, of course. We have our factory here, and we have our 2 outlets here.
And then Karachi, I've seen a massive Interwood store.
So then we go. I'm going up like this. Multan, coming from the north, and then Multan, we have a dealer. Then we have Hyderabad. Then we have Karachi, 2 stores. Yeah, one in Lucky, one and one DHA big store. And then we have warehousing facilities in Karachi as well as in Lahore. So there's warehousing space of 200,000 square. In total, the company's square foot area is about 1 million square feet.
Mashallah, mashallah. What a success story. And, I can't help but wonder, I'm sure there is a secret formula, but, someone as genuine as you and generous in terms of their knowledge sharing, I know that technology has a very big role to play here.
So first, it's the hard work. There is no secret formula for success if you want to do it the right way. So in business, it's only your hard work, your discipline, and your focus towards doing things. That brings, I think, success. So technology is a secondary part. If you have all this, then if your focus is not there, you will not invest in technology.
Right.
So from making like, for example, 1 door in 30 days, we invested in technology, and now we make 200 doors. Probably can make 400 doors a day as well if we become more efficient. And we've invested in robots, we've invested in...
oh, wow, robots as well? And that's unheard of in Pakistan. I'm so glad, you brought up the topic, because that is something that you can, when you think like international brands. So what exactly are you using robotic processes for?
So robots are used in our painting line and are in because I think the furniture industry will change to metal and plastics big time in the future and the present as well. So we have a metal shop as well, so where we use welding robots. So in 2 areas we're doing, and most of our CNC machines are robots because, and the painting line is a robot because automation. It's no person is involved. They just put in the material and they just take out the material, and they just have to set up the machine. So they are kind of robots as well. But this is on the painting line. You put in a chair, and it will configure the whole. You have to just configure it the way it needs to paint, and then it will paint automatically.
Well, that's lovely. I mean, it would be quite interesting to visit one of these facilities one day and maybe, have a look.
It's a unique facility, I would say.
So what was your inspiration when you, thought of making this facility?
So there was no inspiration. I was a very stupid sort of a person. So the only thing I had in me was the hard work. And then the inspiration came itself, and the hard work. And once you're young, you don't have very clear-cut idea of what you're going to do. But with passage of time, alhamdulillah, because the courage was there, One thing we believe in Interwood is that we must honor our commitments, we must produce quality, we must give service to our customers, and this is, I think, what has made us a great brand, different from others. Because I think a sustainable business is only a business that you are a compliant business.
Absolutely.
And compliance is hard done in this country, but I think it's very important for the younger generation as well to be to do the things right way, the way they need to
Right.
do. So,
Omar Saab, one of the interesting points that you brought up was maintaining quality and then also giving customers an experience. These days, there's always a buzzword that's being used. So, like for instance, a lot of HR roles have been redefined, right? So they're no longer sales managers, but there's a customer success and relationship manager. Then there's a chief experience officer, and so on and so forth. A lot of buzzword around experience, and this experience is also when we like look at international brands, for instance, IKEA. We know that no matter which IKEA store you walk into the world, you'll get the same kind of experience, even if you order a chair or a table online. Same kind of service that's provided, after sale service and all that. I know for a fact that Interwood in Pakistan also has an amazing experience. When I walked into 2-3 of your major stores, and when you walk in, it feels very futuristic. You're taken care of. Did you actually invest in developing the experience side of things?
so what we've done in the last 1 year when this pandemic hit us, we've really invested on our HR. We've invested on our organizational behavior. And I think this is the biggest subject an organization needs to focus on. We don't focus on our behaviors. And behavior, attitude is everything. So if your attitude is not good, you may be very competent, but you will not perform. Honestly, you will not perform as a team. And then when you don't perform as a team, you would not achieve the goals of the company. And that's where we are challenged, that we have to fix the behavior. And that's where we have invested heavily in the last 6 months. We've invested about 10 million rupees in changing the behavior and the culture of the organization to a very proactive and,
Customer-centric?
Yeah, it's very customer-centric. So our core values, the first core value is love for customers.
Yeah, see, that's something that is innately there in your behavior as well.
Yeah.
And I believe that is what really translates to your customer. Another thing that you mentioned was HR, right? And how you've heavily invested in it. What do you mean when you speak about investing in the HR side of things? And secondly, when you said you have been working towards a company culture and people who, fit into the culture. A lot of times when we're looking at young people in particular, including millennials like myself, we are very prone to shifting jobs every 2 to 3 years, right? And oftentimes, I've heard this word, oh, I didn't fit into the culture of the company. What exactly does this mean?
I am not sure how the millennials behave. My son is also studying in Purdue. I never figured out how he behaves as well.
Yeah.
So, but what I can say is, if your focus is correct and you know what you want to achieve in life, if by changing jobs you can go at a higher level, then you do that way. Yeah. But if your focus is to stick with the organization and it can take you to the next level, then I think that organization is more prone to you. But we've seen in we've done a lot of strategy sessions, we've done a lot of these organizational behavior interventions. We've seen that people who cannot run with us have left the company. Who have spent 20 years with the company, they have left us because they cannot run with the pace of the company. And these kind of interventions bring in yourself that you either move fast or you leave. So HR development is very, very critical, because in this part of the world, for furniture as well, because we don't have any organized player in the country, we have to train our own people. And our own people have come from the floor level and they are not very educated. So we have to educate them. We have to build up their competencies. We have to help them use the technology, and that costs a lot of money. So fixing behavior with competency is a lot of challenge, and they come from very poor backgrounds, and the way they think and the way you want them to think is a challenge. So that's how we engage and organize these interventions and bring in at par the thinking at par with at least what we are thinking, what our goals are as an organization. So we are heavily investing in this kind of thing. I never thought that this behavior thing will
create such a positive impact.
So I can give you an example. The first training we had, the production doubled in 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a success story. Wow.
Yeah. So this is what I mean, that
because most of the businessmen here, they assume that these are just extra costs, and I've heard so many senior C-levels even talk about the fact that no, this is probably just hocus pocus.
So I said, okay, let's do this. Probably talk to my father's generation, he might think that's the same thing, but this works. And honestly, I also never thought that it's going to work like this. Right. But behaviors are very, very, very critical in building up your culture, and the culture, your core values, your purpose, your mission, your visions. So if they are not aligned with you, because at a certain level, when you're a small company, it's okay. But when you become you want to become a global organization, which we want to, then you have to build in that culture, that system, that HR that is aligned with you, because then you become meaningless. Your team makes you or breaks you.
Absolutely.
So you are, I say, you are as good as your team. So you might be brilliant, but if your team is here and you are here, you will not be able to perform as a company. And I'm very sure about this. So what happened? The behavior comes back. You go back to it's human nature. So it's a continuous process. You have to keep investing into it. So
and very pertinent point raised. Omar Saab, we also talk about the fact that, when we speak about, change in behavior and everything, one can't help but also look at the fresh graduates that are out there, and, those that are still studying, maybe also deciding what to do with their jobs. I'm sure you've interviewed a lot of people. What are some of the common mistakes that the youth today make in terms of when they're coming for, let's say, a job interview, when they're looking for opportunities?
सबसे बड़ा मसला तो is education. The education system in our country needs a real revamping. I think it's not बच्चों का नहीं fault इतना, but I think it's the education system. We are prone to rata system in this country. So one thing I was very good at was rata. The maths, I knew what the answer was, but didn't know what I was doing when I was studying in Pakistan. And because if you're not concepts, do not think out of the box, and you have to read a book and then answer. That's not how you grow. So we have to fix we have to bring in the research mindset into our education system, I think, and a lot of innovation. And,
right. Speaking of innovation, sorry, I'm going to cut you there, but speaking of innovation, Elon Musk recently said that if you are not failing enough, it means that you're not innovating enough. How many times do you see failure regularly, not so common, and what have you learned from it?
I have failed in the last 1 year, 3 years actually, and I've been struggling, and I've been questioning myself, what am I doing wrong?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm honestly telling you, and still struggling, and I'm not sure where my failures are, but I'm quite clear, but I'm not been able to fix them yet, but I'm quite hopeful that I will fix them quite quickly.
But what does this experience of failing teach you? What has it taught you?
You see, when in that part of the world, they don't ask you what your performance is. They ask you what you did and learn from your failure and where you got to.
Absolutely, I've heard that one.
Yeah,
right.
So it's a lot of, if you don't learn from your failures, it's, in our part of the world, we always deny facts.
Mm-hmm.
So when you deny facts, so if you're denying failure, you will not learn from them, and then you will not fix them, and you got down.
Absolutely.
So
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it's basic common sense. So when I do something and it becomes like the organizational behavior intervention, it bounced back on me and the behaviors, and I failed. I was questioning myself, what happened? What went wrong again? Why have I failed again? Why the culture is not moving ahead? So then I question and I re-strategize, and I think
I think introspection is very important for reaching that catharsis, and I
Of
feel
course.
that's what a lot of our senior leadership, when we come to corporate governance, I think that's what they're lacking, because they're not willing to learn, unlearn, and then relearn processes. It's very interesting that you mentioned education, कि हमारे पास सबसे बड़ा एक तो मसला ये है कि जो तालीम है उसके साथ मे बी इतना प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस एक्सपोजर नहीं दिया जा रहा. एंड व्हेन वी talk about this particular area, don't you feel that there is a lack of industry academia linkages in our part of the world?
है ही नहीं, है ही नहीं. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर इंटरवुड में तो कोई लिंकेज ही नहीं है एकेडेमिया के साथ.
Right.
We are an organization which has moved from nothing in 20 years to something, and there could be so many case studies which the new startups need to know, because
Right.
we were there 20 years back. वो नहीं होती और वो केस स्टडीज ही नहीं पढ़ाई जाती. हमारी कंपनियों की केस स्टडीज बननी चाहिए.
राइट, you're right. मतलब हार्वर्ड बिजनेस रिव्यू आके हमारे राहत बेकरी पे एक आर्टिकल लिख सकता है, तो व्हाई कांट वी डू द सेम फॉर आवर.
आप देखिए कि जो अमेरिकन कल्चर है वो यहाँ ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिहेवियर का कल्चर नहीं इम्प्लीमेंट हो सकता, बिकॉज हम सोचते डिफरेंटली हैं. तो आपको इधर को इनोवेट करके उसके मुताबिक आपको, और हर कंपनी का कल्चर फ़र्क होता है. ठीक है, एमएनसी का फ़र्क होगा,
एफएमसीजी का फ़र्क
होगा, उसका फ़र्क होगा. अब इंटरवुड नीचे से ऊपर आ रही है, उसमें डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम है कि नीचे से ऊपर आ रहे हैं लोग, वहाँ से क्या करना है, ग्रोथ आ रही है, कैसे उसको मैनेज करना है. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी खड़ा हो गया है, सब कुछ हो गया और वो रिजल्ट्स नहीं आ रहे. सो दैट बिकम वेरी वेरी पेनफुल. एंड अगर आज हमारी रिसोर्स उस लेवल पे आ जाए, जैसे हमें टेक्नोलॉजी इम्प्लीमेंट करानी है, तो वो लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आर डिज़ाइन सॉफ्टवेयर इंटीग्रेट्स विद आर ईआरपी सॉफ्टवेयर, तो वो हमें समझ ही नहीं आती कैसे उसको इंटीग्रेट करना है, और इट्स सो एक्सपेंसिव कि एक नॉर्मल आदमी कर ही नहीं पाता. और अगर हम वो कर जाते हैं तो देन वी गो मल्टीनेशनल. उसमें तो कोई नहीं है. कंपनी में दो चीज़ें जो इम्पोर्टेंट होती हैं फाइनेंस के अलावा, एक एचआर और एक सिस्टम्स.
एक HR और एक systems.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely, very, very pertinent points raised. And unfortunately, we've had to come towards the end of our interview today. But I would like to ask you this on an ending note. First of all, just a comment and then a question. A comment is that we're doing the interview here at LGU today because this is one of the initiatives that CXO Global Forum has taken of connecting, mashallah, professionals like yourself to the academia. And let's try and groom our future generation from this point here onwards. And the question that I would like to ask you is that how has being a part of CXO Global Forum impacted your life, if not personally, then professionally?
So I feel that, CXO Forum is about learning. So wherever you get learning, it's always valuable. So of course, it impacts you wherever you learn and, collaborate and learn from each other. Makes a lot of difference.
Right. Thank you very much for your time. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and thank you for watching. Like Mr. Omar Farooq rightly pointed out, that in a company or even in a forum, in a network of people, the two most important things are the people and the processes. So let's focus on building better relationships, a better network, and sharing the knowledge that we've got. Stay tuned for yet another episode, once again from the LGU studio. Thank you.